You go, Doctor Who. And if you don't, then you can go.
Right, hello guys, you're watching Go Doctor Who, and today we're going to do the Two Doctors review. We've done Arc Infinity, we've done the Three Doctors, we've done the Five Doctors, and now we're doing the Two Doctors. And then we're ending off with Genesis of the Daleks next time, so stick around for that, and remember to subscribe because we're trying to get to the channel goal on the channel. Now let's get on to the Two Doctors, shall we? So it starts off with Perry and the Sixth Doctor just going fishing. Perry's a bit bored. They end up in a spaceship sort of thing where basically it's trying to kill them. Let's see, it's sucking out the air, then they're in another room and they're in the carpet and then they're trying to boil them to death. They manage to get out of that, and then eventually we see them get attacked and it ends with a cliffhanger of going down, and then we go into part two with obviously learning it was Jamie McCrimmon, so that was interesting. But before that we have also, meaning if Jamie McCrimmon's here, then the Second Doctor must be here. So we go back to episode 1, and let's say episode 1 we have the Second Doctor ready to meet someone and Jamie trying to meet someone, and they go off and they're about to get attacked by these ginger eyebrow creatures. I forgot the names of them, but we get onto them in a bit. Also, we learn that the scientists are basically doing some very bad experiments, and the Time Lords need to get rid of them. Hence, probably why they sent the Second Doctor there to sort it out. And I absolutely loved, at the very beginning of this episode, we saw Jamie and the Second Doctor in the black and white. That was such a beautiful little nod, and then going into colour, and then getting on with the adventure. And it looks like he's been sent on a mission, the Second Doctor, by the Time Lords to sort them out. So that's interesting. Hence why some people have the theory of Series B, is it? Series something B to do with the Second Doctor actually not regenerating in the Second Doctor's last story, actually continuing on, which is an interesting one. And I think Victoria is doing something else as an excuse, so yeah. Also, this B theory suggests why the Second Doctor looks a bit older and a bit greyer, sort of thing. Anyway, let's get on with the rest of the story. So, we see Jamie McCrimmon and all that, and telling them about the Doctor being attacked and warned off. And then we get the Sixth Doctor, him basically solving, right, he needs to get contact with the Second Doctor. Couldn't get the contact properly, and learns a bit of knowledge to try and find him. So basically the whole adventure is basically trying to save the Second Doctor. And they do that, but then you've got to have these other creatures and the Sontarans, which I have to say the Sontarans look really cool. Like, the black designs suit them so much more than the blue designs in my opinion. So yeah, that's interesting to go down. Obviously Sontarans not to be trusted and not to work with allies, and neither were the allies they were working with. They were going to try and backstab the Sontarans. The Sontarans were going to try and backstab these creatures. Yeah, so we learn about these creatures, and they're very obsessed with food, and they definitely want to just, all they think about is food, sort of thing. Now, the scientific person tries to, and did, manage to undo that process for the woman who was mainly in charge of this, but she also wanted to, for some reason, try and change the Second Doctor as a Time Lord into one of them creatures, and they do it successfully. They turn him into the Second Doctor into this creature for a temporary being, because they didn't have the second operation with the ginger eyebrows on the Second Doctor, and he goes off with this butcher, you could say, and they go off eating, which is an interesting, hilarious little scene of them just eating all the food out. And the Sixth Doctor have to go and chase them and try and find them, but they're also trying to find them in episode 3. There is a lot more to go with this story, I think. The Sontarans were pretty cool in it. They didn't do much, and then they got backstabbed quite easily And then one of them, I think because they have honour as well, and I liked that the second Doctor was dissing their honour, and Jamie McCrimmon got to stab a Sontaran in the leg. Badass. Yeah, I like them scenes, but it's basically, sometimes they're getting beaten quite easily. They're also trying to capture the second Doctor because they want to learn time travel, and these other creatures want to learn time travel, the people with the ginger eyes, and they want to learn time travel and sort of thing. But every time they've done that, it's gone wrong, so they need the Time Lords, they need the Doctor. The Doctor managed to trick them and use the TARDIS to reverse it, but not the TARDIS, use the time machine to reverse it. So basically Peri could get in there and she'd be safe. But if it was used a second time, which they would use, it would backfire on them and destroy them. And that's what happened with the main boss woman. She got destroyed. The butcher person was chasing the Sixth Doctor and managed to stab him and chase him. The Sixth Doctor dealt with him and basically smothered him to death. And then the other guy, the scientific advisor, got killed off by the main woman. So that's them all dead, and the Sontaran blowing himself up, and his other Sontaran dead from the acid that they got tripped on. I really like this. It's quite interesting, and the backstabbing, and it's quite a lot. I did feel it was a bit too much and dragging in some places, I have to admit, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun little, right, we need to save the second Doctor. Jamie with the Sixth Doctor and Peri working as a pretty neat TARDIS team for quite a while of the episode. You get these other actors as well, these woman and this other actor, and we learn about them, and then Denny gets killed off in the restaurant because they didn't pay the bill. That was the worst death I've ever seen. He just gets stabbed and then talking poetry, and it was just like, that is just cheese. That is just pure cheese. Yeah. Not much with the second Doctor, to be fair. Yes, he was used for comedic when he got turned into the actual creature, but other than the Doctor being attacked and tortured, the second Doctor didn't have much to do, I would think. And yeah, throughout these three-parter story, they could have done more. And this is why it's probably the worst multi-Doctor story we've ever had. But as a normal story, take it away from being multi-Doctor, it's an alright one, yeah. Colin's brilliant in this. I really like that. I really think Colin's pretty awesome. And Peri, although I obviously, I think Peri's amazing in this. I actually really like her, and not the fact that she's just a good companion. She asks the right questions, I feel, and she just, yeah. I think I really enjoy Peri's performance, to be fair. More than most classic companions. So she is up there for me, from what I've seen of Trial of a Time Lord and this. So yeah. Now, what do we move on to next? We've talked about them all, really. Sometimes get them getting backstabbed, they blow themselves up after honour, because sometimes have a thing with honour. And I suppose if they went back to Sontar, they would be laughed to oblivion. Yeah, that's it, really. This story was basically trying to save the second Doctor. The Time Lord sent the second Doctor to sort stuff out with the scientists. And yeah, successful. I'm going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. And that's my theory, that's my thoughts, that's my everything on this episode. It was a 3-part, 45-minute roundabout each part. So there was way more that I probably haven't talked about, but I don't want this video to be too long. I've gave my opinions on it. I felt like it drags a bit, but I actually really like this story. Second Doctor needed more screen time, in my opinion, other than being tortured. And the weird creatures with the ginger eyes were an interesting dynamic to go down. And working with Sontarans, obviously they were going to backstab each other. And the companions, Jamie and Peri, were brilliant. So yeah, that's my thoughts, that's it. And another video done on the channel. Now, I'm going to watch Genesis of the Cybermen, probably next week now, and but for you it'd be, yeah. I'm going to watch this, Genesis of the Daleks, very soon. I've seen it a few times, I haven't seen it in a couple of years, so I can't really remember much of it, other than, obviously, it's #1 as Classic Who and Genesis and all that, and Davros, so look forward to that. Yeah, so stick around for my review of that, and remember to subscribe, because we're trying to get to the channel goal, and that would be amazing. So yeah, comment down below what you thought this story, give this video a thumbs up, get the little bell so you don't miss a video, because you know you don't want to miss a video of this, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for another video very soon. Have a nice day.